I'm over here by my severely neglected raised beds, and I've got a couple of volunteer tomato plants that I want to talk to you about, and talk to you a little bit more about our raised beds as well. Built this raised bed this last winter, maybe last fall, I forget exactly when it was. Rua, my wife, in case you're new to the channel, my name's Daniel, and I have a wife, Rua, and we have 4 kids, and we live on a 100-acre farm in western Kentucky. And of that 100 acres, we probably only use about 25 of it. We rent the other bit out, and some of it's wooded that we can't use very well effectively right now. We've got 3 5-acre paddocks for the Irish Dexter cows that we rotate them through, trying to create some silvopasture there. We've also got 5 acres where we keep the goats, and we probably got about 1.5 acres of that I rotate the pigs through. We bought a tiller. We've done a lot of tilling behind me and around me that we're working on. We've had Back to Eden garden, but it wasn't very effective for us. It was probably something that we did wrong. But I built this raised bed because Rua wanted a raised bed, and I didn't build any more because we ended up buying the tiller. I filled this raised bed with some old logs that we had, and then some manure mixed with some hay from the cow paddocks, some other compost that I got. And whenever I did that, I found some of these volunteer tomato plants. Some of the very best stuff that you can get is stuff that is volunteered in that location, because it's just perfect for that location. It chose to sprout there, and it's something special about it working, just coming up from seed. I've abandoned this. I've not really done anything with it because I've been doing so many other things. We've got so many things in the works since we did this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to empty all of this out. I'm going to try to clean some of this out, and I'm going to save the tomato plant here because it might end up doing something good, and I don't really have any other plans for this raised bed this year. But I'm going to clean this out. I'm also interested in what you think about leaving volunteer plants, raised beds, your luck that you've had with them. Comment below those things. All right, so I just basically pulled out all the weeds that were over here, and not all of them, but I did a lot of them. What I'm wanting to do is kind of just experiment. Hopefully I didn't disturb the roots and disturb these too badly, but I've really been neglecting these completely. And this is a tomato that, really, this tomato looks better than any of the ones that I planted. I started these from seed. I put these in here. I've been putting compost tea on those. I've done nothing at all to these, and these look better. So that kind of shows you the power of volunteer tomatoes over the cultivated ones. To be fair, this has a lot of compost in it. This has a lot of good manure in it. This has a lot of good fertilizer and good stuff in here, versus that over there. It is in some stuff that had some wood chips in there. In a lot of these areas, there were wood chips that I've tilled together. This probably was a little bit more fertile, and sometimes leaving things alone is a whole lot better. But again, these were started later and have been left alone, hadn't done anything. Those I babied, I nursed, I watered, I did everything for. This one doesn't have any, well, it does have one. It's got a little tomato right there. This one over here has a lot of blooms and a lot of tomatoes and little tomatoes on it. One of the other disadvantages of this is you don't know what kind of tomato it is. You don't know if it's a paste tomato. You don't know if it's a slicing tomato. You don't know if it's what kind it is at all. I'll show you this a little bit later on. Again, I was just kind of doing this. I took all the grass that was here and I just put it on as more of a mulch. Whenever I did pull it up, I would turn it upside down to make sure the roots didn't get back in there. I might come over here and put a little bit more other cover on there, maybe some more wood chips or some more soil from somewhere else, some hay. I've got some hay that needs to be chopped up and put somewhere. Maybe one of the lessons here is that gardening doesn't have to be super difficult. I did nothing here, absolutely nothing, and these tomatoes came up and they're doing okay. If you want to have a lot of harvest, you can pay attention to it, but sometimes a little bit of purposeful neglect is good. This isn't purposeful, this is just neglect. But sometimes purposeful neglect is good. This really isn't a triumph. This really isn't something I did. This is something I noticed. I was almost abandoning this. I didn't do really anything with it at all. And look at this beautiful tomato. And there's a couple of these others over here as well. I've got several different things over here. I've got my straw bales over here. I'm going to do another video on straw bales soon. And I've got the raised beds. I've got the tilled garden. I've got a few no-till places. So I've got like some roots out with the potatoes that I've never done anything with at all. That I didn't till. I just put it up on the ground, and then I'm stacking the hay on top of that. So try some different things and do what works best for your area. Again, if you like things like this, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow our page, come back again every opportunity you get, and we're going to keep on doing things like this, and we're going to work through these things with you, and we're going to hopefully inspire you to try some of these things on your own, so that you can grow your own food, you can be more self-sufficient, and you can get this beauty and pleasure that you can only get from gardening and doing some of these other things. Thanks for coming.